Picturesque is one way to describe the city of Savannah, and none of the city's squares may more aptly fit that description than Monterey Square. Laid out in 1847, Monterey Square is the site of three of Savannah's most recognizable features: the Pulaski Monument, the Mercer Williams House, and Congregation Mikveh Israel. Standing tall in the center of the square, the Pulaski Monument is hard to miss, a dedication to a man who's remembered all over the country for his service during the American Revolution, and one who was killed during the Siege of Savannah in 1779.
Pulaski was a Polish general who, when he came at the behest of Benjamin Franklin to come help out the colonists during the Revolution, he created the American cavalry. Not from scratch, but he had his hands in it enough that he's known as the father of the American cavalry. And of course, cavalry bailed Washington out in that war. There are stories of Pulaski personally saving George Washington's life during battle. So he's a big deal.
Pulaski's monument isn't the only way the general is remembered in Savannah. Pulaski Square is just a short walk from Monterey, and Fort Pulaski on Cockspur Island is also named in his honor, as well as several other dedications across the nation.
There are counties and cities and schools and parks and forts and rivers and bridges and roads named after him all over the country. So our connection to him is pretty special.
On the southeast corner of Monterey Square, you'll find the Mercer Williams House, the home immortalized by midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil.
That is where the Mercer Williams House is, which of course is the center of that story with that murder that took place there. And so, you know, once that book got famous and then the movie came out, especially once the movie came out, because the book was a nice descriptor, the movie gave the actual visual representation of the city.
On the other side of the square stands the synagogue for Congregation Mikveh Israel, one of the most historic and unique buildings in Savannah.
That congregation started in 1733, the year Oglethorpe landed. Now, that original group of Jewish people, they weren't on the boat with Oglethorpe. They were a few months later. So that is the oldest Jewish congregation in the state of Georgia, and the third oldest in the country.
And the congregation's place of worship has its own claim to fame as well.
The most interesting thing about it is that that synagogue is built in the Gothic architectural style. It is the only one in the country built like that.
While it may not be one of the original squares, Monterey is undoubtedly a Savannah must-see.
In Monterey Square, even though most people don't actually remember the name of it, is probably the most famous Savannah Square.